Hi there, my name is Nick and I'm one of the product owners here at Unleash Software, and today we're going to be taking you through a little supply chain hack. We're going to be showing you how to quickly reset and calculate your safety stock values and your reorder points. To do this, we're going to be taking you through a specific calculator that we have available publicly on our website, free to use for any of our clients or anyone interested in calculating their safety stock. And we're going to use some values out of the Unleash Software Business Intelligence module, particularly our sales module and then also our purchasing module. And with that in mind, guys, let's dive in. So the first place you'll want to start is the Unleash website itself, unleashsoftware.com. And if you jump onto the homepage and come over to the learning section up the top, you'll find inventory calculators right here under resources. And this is where you can then find the calculators that we have available to you for you to calculate your safety stock and your reorder point. Well, we'll just ignore some of the pop-ups as they turn up, but basically what you want to have a look at is these values here, and then you want to go into the Unleash system and find them. So you're going to want to find your maximum daily use, so how many units you might sell maximum over a time period. So what's the maximum amount you might have sold looking back in time? We want to see the maximum lead time in days, so we also want to see sort of how long at the longest it would take for you to get these goods into your possession. From there, the values that we get from there, we then minus over another calculation, which is the average daily use, and that's the amount of units you sell over a time period divided by that time period. And then we want to have the average lead times in day. So on average, how long it does take for you to get these goods into your possession. At the end of that, we'll be able to get our safety stock, and from there we can start to calculate our reorder points, which also uses the average daily usage and the average daily lead times as well. And from there we can start to plug those into the system. So those are the calculations, and that's where you can find it on our website. Let's dive into Unleash Software itself and try and find some of these values. So here I am in the dashboard. This is the first place that you're going to find yourself whenever you log into Unleashed. And you can get to the Business Intelligence module from here if you like. You can actually come through and select some of these tiles and it'll take you directly to some of the areas. But I'm going to show you the long way just so you have a full view. If you come over to Business Intelligence on the left-hand side menu and select Sales, this will take us to the Sales module version of the Business Intelligence module. I'm just going to collapse the menu as well so we can have a full view of what we're looking at here. Now this is the foundation section, but where we want to find is actually our vision module version of the Unleashed BI Intelligence. Big long mouthful, that one there. But anyway, while we're here, we'll see that there's a few options that we can choose to select, a few metrics that we can look at, but what we're really after is the units sold, and then we want to have a look at date range. At this stage, we're going to have a look at the last quarter, so sort of January to March 2022. And as we scroll down, we can see some cool graphs that we'll be using, but we want to filter and be a little bit more specific when we're trying to find out these calculations. For example, we want to look at a specific warehouse, Auckland in this case, and we want to look at a particular product. When you're making these calculations, it is going to be on a per product basis, so make sure that you're choosing your most important products. You guys will know best which products is going to be best for you to make sure that you have safety stock for. It could be based off seasonality, or it could just be on basically your experience in your own business. Everyone's unique. So we're going to come over and we're going to choose a specific product, in this case sunglasses. And if I just select them like that, that will filter all those metrics by the warehouse and the sunglasses. And from here we can start to have a look to see what our average daily use is and what our maximum daily use is over a time period. So first of all, let's have a look how many units we actually sold over that time period. And if I scroll back down, you'll see product ranked by units sold. It's all the sunglasses. It's one nice big block, super easy to read, 99. Now if we divide that over the 90-day period, the quarter period, that works out to be about 1.1 units sold per day on average. So we've now got that calculation. I would note this down on a piece of paper, or if you wanted to, you could just jump in and type that into the calculator if it's open up on another tab. And I think that one was right here. There we go. Now jumping back into the Unleashed system, we now want to find out what the maximum daily use was over the time period. And if I scroll all the way back up, we're going to see a really lovely graph that will show us a few values, a few bumps in the graph as well. And those bumps are coloured based off what we're comparing. So you'll notice that the orange ones here are the financial quarter or the last quarter, and then we're also then looking at the quarter prior as well. So if you wanted to do some quick comparison, you can. But that's not what we're here for. We want to find the maximum, and if we just find the maximum or the largest bump in the graph, that'll tell us exactly what the maximum was. And we can see here that on the, I think it was the 18th of March, we sold 20 units of this item. So quite a fair amount. And if we come back to the calculator, we can now type that in to the maximum daily use up the top here. We'll go 20. Fantastic. So we're halfway there, guys. We've got all the sales data. Now we want to dive into the purchasing side and do some filtering there. To find the purchasing module, very similar to where we found the sales one, we'll just expand that left-hand menu, come over to the business intelligence and select purchases at the top. Again, I'm just going to collapse that menu because it looks a little nicer. Then going to come over to our visual module, going to change that date range to the same date range. This is important. We want to be comparing apples to apples when we're looking at punching in these figures, guys. And then we want to select the average delivery duration. And as that name implies, that's going to tell us, on average, how long does it take to deliver something. So let's scroll down and see if we can find the warehouse. And of course, the product as well, with the sunglasses. Awesome stuff. So we can now see that the average duration for these sunglasses over a time period, immediately we can see, is 5 days. So it takes us about 5 days on average to get this item into our possession. I'll just punch that into that calculator again just to save, so we have that handy. And then we're going to come all the way up and find the longest lead time. So the maximum amount we've ever seen for this product to come into our possession, the maximum duration of time, for this product to come into our possession. And the best way to do that, in my opinion, is actually just to use the graph that we have, which is the average delivery duration and quantity over time. And we can see here we've got a pretty big bump on that 15th of March, where it took 22 days on average, not on average, 22 days for those goods to come into our possession on a particular purchase order. If you wanted to, though, you can find it in another way. If you come over to the products ranked by delivery duration, you can also filter this, the delivery status. You can also filter this by the delivery status as well, and we can have a look to see, what might have been late and what might have been on time, and had a look to see what the top one was as well on overall. But these sunglasses are super easy, and we can just use that 22 that we're seeing here in the graph. And so let's punch that in, and voila. We now have our stock safety value of 434.5. If we then scroll our way down to the reorder point formula, we can now use that value to try and calculate our reorder point value. And this is something that we can then insert into Unleashed. So you're getting alerts whenever you hit that reorder point, and you are making sure that you are actually taking heed of these safety stock values. So if we come down, we can see the average daily use has been punched in already. That average lead time is just a little bit off. 10 is not quite right, it's actually more 5. And then you can then see that 434.5 in here as a safety stock. So our reorder point is 440. And so that's the point where we always want to make sure that we are placing an order once we hit that level, so we always have stock available to provide to our customers. So you might be wondering how we do that. Well, let's jump back into Unleashed and show you where you can enter this in. And here we are back in the dashboard. We're now going to show you how to insert that 440 value into your minimum stock levels, so you're getting your minimum stock alerts. These will come up on the dashboard for you to see and for you to be alerted for, that you can then jump into our reorder report and make some reordering. But first you have to set those minimum levels. So the first thing we want to do is find the product. I like to use the global search bar on the right hand side, because that'll take us directly to it. And we're now in the product record. From here you come over to the inventory module, or the inventory tab. You find the warehouse in question, in this case Auckland, and you just change that minimum stock level to 440. You can see there it was slightly low at only 100. From there we can then save. And so that's a super easy way for you to do it on a per product basis. You might be thinking, okay, well I actually want to apply different minimum stock levels to a few products, and you might want to do that in bulk. If that's something that you want to do, just come over here to the inventory, products, import export, and from there you can come over to the inventory details tab, and from there you can also export what you currently have via the export button on the top right hand corner, inventory details. That's going to provide you with a CSV file where you can find the minimum stock level column, adjust to your heart's content, and then drop it back into this drag and drop area. From there, you'll have some minimum stock levels set and unleashed that are relative and related to the safety stock calculation that you've just processed. And what that should mean is that anytime your stock gets to that level, you'll receive that alert on the dashboard. You can then review it in more detail via the reorder report, and from there place purchase orders in a strategic and clever way so that you never get into a situation where you can't provide stock to a customer, or you have to make them wait so you can then provide stock via a back order process. Well, I hope you found that useful. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.